Alright guys, so we have our folder structure. Now we want to create the UI, and we're going to use a Bootstrap template. So we want to go to get bootstrap.com, and what we're going to do is download Bootstrap. Okay, so I'm going to get this zip file, which I'm going to open up. Okay, at this time, the latest version is 3.1.1, and basically we're just going to transfer some files, open our CSS folder, and I'm going to bring in bootstrap.css. Alright, and that's basically it. And then the fonts, we'll just grab these and put those into our fonts folder. And then we want our JavaScript, bootstrap.js. Alright, so when you download the zip file for Bootstrap, there's no index page. Okay, it's on us to create that, but there is an example that we can grab if we go to Getting Started and go to where is it? Okay, so down here where it says examples, we want to kind of grab this theme right here, this blog theme. So I'm going to click on that. Alright, and it takes us to a demo. Now what we're going to do is do a Control U and get all the source code. Okay, so you want to select all and copy, and then we're going to put that into our index.php file. Okay, and then we can close that up. And what we want to do is let's just save this how it is. Okay, it's not going to look too good, but we'll just make sure that our path works. So localhost /php lovers blog. Alright, so we have all the content from the sample document, but we don't have any CSS or anything because we have to fix the paths. Alright, let me just move this up. Okay, now the path to, okay, right here it has a path to bootstrap.min.css, but this is not correct right here. We just want it to go to our CSS folder. Okay, CSS / and we're not using this minified version, so it's just going to be bootstrap.css. And then here it's pointing to blog.css, which just has some extra styling, and actually we're going to have to get that, so we're going to go back to the Bootstrap site and go back to that demo. Okay, if we do a Control U, we can click on this blog.css. Okay, it's just some extra styling. We're going to grab all of it and go into the CSS folder of our app, create a new file, and I'm going to call this custom.css instead of blog.css. Okay, and open that up, paste that in, save it, and then back in our index page we want this to go to CSS / custom.css. Alright, so let's go ahead and change the title. And let's get rid of this favicon link. We don't need that. We don't need author or description for now. We don't need any of this stuff. And then down at the bottom, it's linking to the jQuery Google CDN, which is fine. We have our bootstrap.js file, so let's remove this min and this is it's in the JavaScript directory of our application. And then this one, we don't need this, so let's get rid of it. Alright, so let's save this, and now it should look like the demo, hopefully. So we'll go to localhost/php lovers blog. Alright, so basically we have the demo site up and running. Alright, now let's start to change some things. If we go in the index file, okay, so for the menu, and by the way, in this video, we're only going to be adding static content. We're not going to deal with anything with the database in this video. Okay, I just want to get the look down first. Okay, we'll have a home. Okay, and then we'll have a link for all posts. And okay, for the heading, this is where we want to have our logo, which I need to get. Alright, so I'm going to go to the done version and go to images. Okay, I want to grab this logo, copy it. You should have this in your files. And put it right in the images directory. Okay, and then right here, I'm going to create a div with the class of logo. Alright, and then in here we're going to have an image, and I'm just going to point it to the static image for now, which is images / I think it's logo.png. So let's see if that goes through. Alright, so there's the logo. The title is going to be PHP Lovers Blog, and then we're going to have kind of a slogan here. So I'm going to change this to PHP News, tutorials, videos, and more. Alright, now we want to do a little styling here. We want to get this image floated to the left of the title and the slogan. So let's go to our custom CSS file. I want to open it with Notepad++. And I think in the next video, the next project, we're going to install a better editor. We'll install the Eclipse IDE because I really like Notepad++, but only for small projects where you're not working with a bunch of files. And IDE makes that a little easier. Alright, so what do we want to do here? Let's I just want a spot where we can add our custom styles, basically classes and IDs that we're adding. So I'm going to go, I think this is a media query. Actually, we'll just go to the bottom, I guess. Say custom classes. Okay, so logo. Basically, all we want to do is float that to the left. Okay. So we also want to change some coloring. Alright, so this blue we want to turn into basically the PHP branding purple. So there's a few areas we need to change. for the color. So the blog masthead, I'm gonna actually copy this because this is that light blue, and I want to just replace it. I want to replace it with the color of the PHP logo, which is this, and I'm just going to hit replace all. So let's save that and take a look. Alright, so that changed the top header, or the nav bar color I should say. Okay, now I want to take a look at the posts. That's awful long. I'm just going to replace these posts with some different content. Okay, so sample blog posts. I'm just going to put a different title in there just to get a better feel. And then let's see, blog post meta. I'm going to get rid of the inner text of the post. Alright, I'm just going to get just a couple paragraphs of sample content. Obviously, this will be ultimately coming from the database, but just for now. And I'm just going to put the same content in the next post. Alright, and then let's change the name or the title of the post. Okay, so that looks better. I'm going to get rid of these next previous links as well. Okay. Now I want to have a read more button as well. Okay, that goes across the column here. So at the bottom of the post, which is here, we'll create a link with the class of read more. Okay, and ultimately that's going to go to post.php, and then it'll have some ID. It'll say like ID equals 1 or something like that. Actually, I'm going to keep this at just one paragraph, just so it's easier to read. Alright, so that's the end of that post. Let's get rid of this paragraph. Alright, so let's save that. Okay, there's our read more link. We want to style that a little bit, so let's go back to custom CSS. We'll go down to the bottom here, and we want to style the read more link as the class of read more, and let's display it as a block. Text align is going to be center. We'll give it a padding of 5 pixels, a background of light gray. Let's see, a margin at the top, a margin of 10 pixels, and the color is going to be a dark gray. And we also want to do a hover state as well. So we'll say dot read more hover. Alright, and I'm just going to change the background to to a slightly darker gray. And color will be the same. And I don't want an underline, so text decoration will be none. Okay, if we reload, there's our read more button. We didn't put one under the second one. Okay. So it's looking good. Let's just change this. I'm going to get rid of this elsewhere block and change the archive to categories. Okay, so if we go down, we'll change this to categories, and we'll just throw in a couple dummy categories. We'll say design, actually not design, news, and let's see, events, tutorials, and miscellaneous. Okay, so there's our categories. I'm going to get rid of this elsewhere module, and then the footer, let's just we'll keep a paragraph, and we'll say PHP lovers blog. We'll just put a fake copyright in here. Alright, so let's take a look at that. There's our categories block. There's our footer. So everything looks good on the home page. So the posts page is going to be basically the same thing. Let's see, for this, let's add in our links here. So home is going to go to index.php, and then posts is going to go to posts.php. And let's see, yeah, that looks good. Save it. Okay, so it goes to post.php, which we need to create now. So I'm just going to copy everything because it's basically the same thing. For now it's the same. Once we get into the logic, it will be different because we'll be able to narrow it down by category if we want to, and we'll do some other stuff. So let's just open it for now. Post.php, which is just going to basically be the same thing. I'll change the title. PHP lovers blog posts. Alright, so we'll save that. Now what I want to do is I want to create our header and footer files and include them in our layout. Alright, so if we go to includes, open up header. Alright, so basically if I go to index.php, we want to start at the top, and all the code that's going to be the same on all pages we need to grab. Alright, so I think down to this this class with the call 8 blog main div. Okay, so we'll grab everything from there up, and I'm going to paste that into the header, and then let's just bring this up, and then down at the bottom we can grab from the closing HTML tag to, I'm even going to include the sidebar, to blog main. Okay, so this ending div down, I'm going to cut that, put that into the footer file. Okay, so I'm going to save that. Okay, so now our index.php doesn't have a header and a footer, so it looks like this. So all we need to do is include those files. Alright, so php include, and it's in the includes folder / header.php. Alright, and then we're going to just do the same thing at the bottom, except we're going to use footer.php. Okay, so if we save that, there we go. Okay, and I actually should have did this before I did the post page, so I'm just going to copy all this and just replace the post page. Okay, so now if we reload, and we can go to post.php, which right now is the same exact thing right now. Alright, so the last template we need to do is the actual post. Okay, so if we click read more, it goes to post.php. So let's open that up. Post, and we want to put in our header and footer tags. Alright, so let me just paste that in there. Alright, and actually this is basically going to be kind of the same thing as well. I'm just going to get rid of the second post because it's only going to be one. Alright, and there's not going to be a read more, so I'll get rid of that. And then I'm just going to add in another paragraph because it's supposed to be the whole post, the whole blog post. So let me go right here, put in a paragraph. And this paragraph needs to end, and then this one starts. Alright, so let's check that out. Okay, so let's reload post, and that's our post. Okay, very simple. So that is basically the entire layout for the front end. In the next video, we're going to work on pulling this info from the database. And of course, first we'll create our database along with the tables. So we'll do that next.